Well, happy Thursday. It's the Bailey Brew Sports Chat. This is Ironman Herb Bailey, Charlie Harper Mug. You're here in Colleton County. You're starting to get to know Charlie Harper Mug. It's known other places, but you'll get to know him more. Spot on last week about the Atlanta Falcons. My guest this week is Packy Burke. He's the head coach, wrestling coach at Colleton County High School. And we're going to talk high school wrestling, and we're going to, not the WWE.
That's right.
The Royal Rumbles this week, but we're not talking about that. We're not even going to go there at all. This is the real wrestling. This is what, if you ever go to a high school wrestling match, you're so impressed with the skill and the toughness of these high school kids. And so we'll talk about that. But first, the Charlie Harper Mug. The Steve from the Charlie Harper Mug for the Super Bowl is saying the Atlanta Falcons over my hated New England Patriots, because I'm a diehard Jet
Cheaters.
fan. I'm a diehard New York Jet fan, so
I got a buddy just like you, buddy.
So no New England Patriot love here. Atlanta Falcons from the Charlie Harper Mug. All right, I got a lot of people that watch this program up east, and they're probably now gritting their teeth going, he hasn't changed a bit. But Packy, we're going to talk a little wrestling here. First I want, because it is interesting that the coach of a high school wrestling team, you don't meet many people that are a head coach of a high school wrestling team. How did you start?
Great question. Not something I planned on doing. I just got in. I started wrestling at the age of 5. I'm from upstate New York. You know, you say keep saying back east. So
yeah.
I kept kind of in the same area. Upstate New York, Cooperstown, New York. Baseball Hall of Fame. If you're an avid baseball player,
I've been
followed it. Beautiful town, yeah. Great place to grow up. There might be 3,500 people in that town. Small community, but I had a lot of good coaching. I had a lot of good influences. So I wrestled at the age of 5. I was in 7th grade when I started the varsity team. I had to pass an agility test and a lot of different things. They don't have that anymore. You can't start varsity in 7th grade. Wrestled all throughout high school. Was a state champion in my school, which is pretty hard to do. We were the small school in that area, and back in that day, they had just one state champion. They didn't have 4A, 5A, separated. They just had sections, which was state sections, 11 sections, and one state champion for one weight. So,
wow.
It's come a long way. Coaching, I wrestled in college, Binghamton University. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Binghamton.
I've been through it.
Yeah, so a lot of people go through it. Yeah. I was started the program in college when it transitioned. We started Division III, moved to Division II, and then my senior year we went to Division I. So it was a tough transition for me, but great college experience.
Yeah, and if you pass through Binghamton, you have to go past through Binghamton to go right to anywhere else in upstate New York. That's so right. Yeah, you see Binghamton. I always thought it looked a lot like Worcester, Massachusetts, but that's just here or there. All right, so you're a head coach at Colleton County High School.
Yeah, I started volunteering about 10 years ago. Just showed up, asked Cliff Warren. My dad met him one day and said, we wrestled in our hometown. My parents just moved down to Walterboro, and I was 30-something at the time, and I needed a place to live. They let me shack up for a bit, and I started volunteering and just volunteer my time. And then eventually they hired me as an assistant. I put some time in there, and then eventually head coach. This is my 5th year.
Good. Okay. Now, what goes into, let's segue back to right before the season. What goes into preparing for a wrestling season?
Okay. It's a great question. But before even the season, I prepared with a youth wrestling club. I had to start to build the program, so I started with a youth wrestling program, but now it's finally starting to see benefits. I'm seeing kids that I started with, maybe 6 or 5 years ago, just coming back. They might have been lost and just playing football for now, or doing whatever, but they have a wrestling background somewhere. So a lot of them have just started coming into wrestling from football, which I haven't seen in the past. It's been tough to get them to come and be a part of the football and wrestling programs because football's a long season.
It really is.
All summer, and to go from that to wrestling, it's not really a break.
No.
So that's kind of what I've been encouraging. Recruiting all the time. It's hard for me not being a teacher in the school, so I use those kids. I use whatever resources I can to get recruits. We need numbers. Yeah.
So that's the big thing in the off season is getting the numbers. So you're probably like in your back of your mind saying, I hope this works out, I hope this works out, I hope this works out.
Absolutely. My big thing is I was a 3-sport athlete. Multi-sport athletes, I think, are what is the best kind of athlete you can find.
Yeah.
And they're versatile. And I think wrestling is such a solid foundation to have that you can do any sport out of it. It's because you're going to be in shape. You're going to physically demanding sport. It's kind of hard to find something so physically demanding outside of wrestling, but you can use that stuff to use towards football with your balance, use towards soccer with your sprinting, your agility, and track, whatever you use there. So, I don't really say one sport. I say multi-sport athletes.
Yeah, you hear that a lot. Last week when Rob Borla left for CBA, he said the same thing. He goes, he wants athletes that are in all these sports.
That's a good AD right there.
Yeah, and it really worked. Now, I know that on your team this year, the quarterback is on your team.
Craig Grant.
Yeah.
And that's a good example of a kid that started in our youth program. And it's, like I said, it's a tough thing to stay involved. And we never had a middle school program, so there was a little bit of a gap, from there. So I didn't feel bad for him not coming out, but he came back. He might have been hesitant last year, but he's back. He brought a bunch of kids with him. He's such a good role model. He's huge.
Yeah. He's an athlete.
Yeah, he's a good kid. I love his family. We've been getting along. He's got younger brothers that have come through the program. So whether they do wrestling or not, they're good family, good people to be around. And Craig's a good kid.
That's good. I've been to a couple of your matches at Colletonian High School.
Yeah.
And the last one I went to, I was actually very happy to see a good crowd there. Right? Now, when I know that, like the other one, Somerville brought in a good crowd, but do you have a good home crowd?
Good point. I mean, you're very observant. We don't have a home crowd. It's funny because Somerville probably brought more fans than we had, and they had to travel 45 minutes. And I think that has a lot to do with tradition. They've got a following of grandsons and nephews and people that are just, their kids don't even wrestle, they just go to follow. So, we're getting better. I think, like I said, things like this are great. We need to get the word out there. And, I honestly will tell you, there are kids in our high school that don't know we have a wrestling team.
Hopefully they're watching this right now.
They use their phone on the internet.
And that's part of what I like to bring in back east and out here with this type of show is to get a word out that maybe it's not getting out. And so wrestling is going places at Collin County High School. Now this year, recap a little this year, what has happened?
Okay. Well, we've never had a full team. There's 14 weight classes. This year, in the beginning of the season, we had a lot of interest, a lot of kids. So we had a lot of weights filled, but I'd say we had 11 out of the 14. We started our season off early. The first day we were eligible, we wrestled Timberland and Goose Creek. Didn't expect to come away with anything, but we won against Timberland, lost against Goose Creek, a larger school that probably has a lot more wrestlers. They had a full team. But we rolled from there. We just kept going. We were winning matches. And saying that in Collin County and saying that for Collin County Wrestling, winning wasn't a word we used a lot. Yeah. So the cool thing about it is that a lot of the kids half of them were first-year wrestlers.
That's great.
Coming from football. Yeah. Just being a multi-sport athlete, that are athletes that, sit there and listen to you in practice. So I owe it a lot to the kids. I've got a great coaching staff I got lucky to get this year. I've got great parents that help out. So it's a lot of different factors that why we're successful, and it feels so good after so many years of trying. It just finally comes together.
Well, this man was out till 11 o'clock at the last night. What were you doing last night?
We had the 4A Region 8 individual wrestling championships. We got there. I had to get them out of school a little early. We got there around 3. They had to weigh in, and we didn't get done until about 10 o'clock. And if you know anything about high school sports, they love to have a CDL for your coaches, and I drive the bus as well, so I drive them there, and I drive back. It adds a little stress to you, a little tired. So sorry for the appearance.
No, he looks great. We're taping this actually at about 11 o'clock in the morning, so that's why, he just got in literally. So, but I'm glad that to have him here. Now, during the season, was there any wrestlers that jumped out at you like, wow, this guy's going places?
They've all got personalities of their own. I believe in them all. So, to point out a few that we expect things from, Wyatt O'Quinn, I think he's a junior or sophomore this year. Sorry, Wyatt, if I don't remember.
He's tired.
Yeah. He's got it in his family. His brother wrestled 4 years for us. He was a third in the state last year. So we expect a lot of things out of Wyatt. We put a lot of pressure on him, made him a captain this year. So at a young age, but he can take it. He's been wrestling at an early age of 4, maybe doing a lot of national and state competitions. He's won freestyle. So Wyatt O'Quinn at 126 pounds, I think he's one that we look a lot to expect from. 182 pounds, Tyrese Pressey. He's just another kid that started with our program at a youth age, and he just grew so big within a year that he is just trying to get to his, catch up to his body, and he's just very strong, very aggressive, and I think he's got a chance. He just came off, he was our only region champ yesterday, so
Great.
To get a region 8, 4A patch is very, very difficult in our region. So congratulations to Tyrese. And the other guys did well too. So those two guys, and I've got dark horses I could talk about for days. There's a lot of kids that stick into the wrestling that might not have the body of Tyrese and the experience of Wyatt, but they stay in it because they work hard, they listen to their coach, and those are the kids I thrive to coach.
Is there anything else going on this year after last night?
Yeah, we've got the lower state qualifier for the state tournament. So for a lower state tournament, everybody qualifies. So you didn't have to place in your region. It's something new this year. So everybody qualifies. So I'm going to take all 10 of my guys. We're going to stay overnight. It's February 17th and 18th. It's at Chapin High School. It's a 2-day tournament. So top 4 qualify, go on to the state tournament.
Okay, some of you wrestling fans of Colleton County High School, make the trek. Cheer them on. Now, as a fitness guy, I want to ask this question: is in the off season and as you're training during the season, what type of fitness do you like to see the guys be involved in?
Anything. That's a good question, because it's hard to keep my guys together after the season. They do other sports, so they're doing track. They're ready for football. I actually coach JV soccer, so sometimes you might see me in the wrestling room and then out on the soccer field the same day just to get things together. So the guys that don't do things on the side, I have told them in the past, highly recommend freestyle and Greco-Roman wrestling. That's the international style of wrestling. That's if anybody wants to be an Olympian, that's the style of wrestling you do. The style they do in high school, it's called scholastic or folk style. They just don't wrestle that style internationally, but if you can get 100 matches in the off season doing freestyle or Greco-Roman, you're going to be 100 matches better when it comes to the next season.
That's true. The only wrestler I ever met in person, Bob Backlund, who used to be champion in the other fake thing. But in the gym, the thing that I wanted to share with this is that he was saying to the people in the gym, I don't want to talk about the other stuff. Let's talk about the high school wrestling. Let's talk about, he goes, the real wrestling. He goes, that's where the athletes are. And he was very serious about it. He said, that's where I got my training. That's where I love.
Yeah.
He goes, I love that wrestling. And so this is a good springboard for these athletes to build on.
Absolutely. That's what I strive to teach, and you don't have to love wrestling. You just got to respect it and respect what everybody else, the hard work that everybody else puts into it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I coach, is because someone did it for me, and I respected my coach. So I step up, and some of these kids give me headaches, but I think it's a little reciprocating for what I did to my teachers and
Karma.
It all comes back in a great circle. So.
That's right. But so you're going to be ending in February. Then you go to transition right to the JV soccer coach, basically, right?
Yeah.
But you're always looking at wrestling.
Absolutely.
If there's somebody that's watching here, that maybe their son, and they want to get them involved, what should they prepare for?
With wrestling?
With wrestling.
Prepare. Be involved with your athlete. It's probably one of the few sports you can actually, be next to your son or daughter, and I say daughter because females can wrestle.
Yes, they can.
We had a female this year wrestle.
Yes.
So, you can be in contact. I encourage them to come to tournaments. You can be match side with them, yelling and screaming at them like I do. But you've also got to learn to be ready for it's going to be a tough road. You're learning to develop just how to win, but how to lose, how to train hard and treat your body right. You know, get the best out of your body for nutrition, and it's just an all around great thing for human life. You know, just to get the best out of it. But I've got some of the best relationships from my kids' parents that I have with them still today. So it's hard not to become a family when everybody works so hard at the same goal for, you know, that athlete to be a better person.
Great. Well, I appreciate you, Becky. I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate being here. Thank you.
I hope that this has given the county some interest in wrestling, and get out there next year to cheer these guys on, and maybe a future wrestler will be born from this episode.
Absolutely.
I hope so too. So next week, I'm actually planning my guest for February, and so I'm committing somebody in a couple days, so I can't say their name yet until they commit. But so you'll be surprised next week who my guest is. This is the 4th episode, so we've gone further than we thought. I'm teasing. We're going to be here a while. So this is Ironman Herb Bailey along with Packy Burke.
Thanks again.
And we will see you next week.